me? Mic check. Does it sound okay? Okay. Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you once again, pastors, for giving me this opportunity to come and share. And what I like to do is, first I'm going to pray. That's what I'm going to do first. So just pray with me. Father God, we thank you for the word. We thank you for the word that you have given me specifically for this night and for this time of season, Lord. I just pray for every person in this place that you would just touch every heart right now, Lord God. And I just pray that this word will be brought forth and be alive to your people, Lord God. And just use me in a mighty, mighty way, Lord. I just surrender everything to you. I am an open vessel to be used by you. Thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. I like to always start off with how I come about getting to what I want to speak on, because a lot of times I'm not the type to, I was like this in school. I wasn't the type to study and already have this like weeks ago. It comes to me like at the very last second. I was a big time procrastinator, which is bad, but on some things it kind of works out. But for the Monday night prayers that we've been having, I came to both of them, and I already kind of had an idea, but it stuck out so loudly with the Lord speaking to me on the first prayer night. And we were here, and we had worship music going, people were spread out, and I heard, I could hear when I had my eyes closed, some people crying, some saying their prayers out loud, some speaking in the Holy Spirit, and like I said, I could hear the music. So then it's like I started praying, and then I'm like starting to sing the song that was playing, and so I get back to where I was praying, and then I'm hearing someone else praying, and so I kept like getting sidetracked, not in a bad way, because I was focusing on everything else around me instead of focusing on what I needed to pray on. And that specific night, I didn't have a particular thing to pray on. I was in agreement with everyone else. So I was open to hear what everybody else was praying on. But I wanted to specifically hear the Lord talk to me. And I kept saying, Lord, I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your voice. And I kept talking on my own. So finally, I got to a corner, sat down, but I got quiet. I stayed silent. And it didn't happen right away, but like 5 minutes go by, and then I heard the Lord speaking. And he showed me that I had to stop what I was doing and completely focus on him. And he opened himself up to me. But I was so sidetracked with everything going on all out here, because there was so much different things going on. I wasn't really focusing on him. I had to stop what I was doing and just be silent for him to speak to me. So I want to talk about be still amidst the chaos of life. And I like what Pastor Anna had said when she spoke on Mother's Day. Because like with families, and to me pertaining to mothers, I have 4 daughters, 4 girls, remind you. My oldest is 11, going on preteen. And she's already as tall as me, or about to be passing me, because I'm real short. And then I have a 10-year-old, and then an 8-year-old, and then a 5-year-old. So they're kind of real gapped, but I told Richie that when Emma had mentioned on Mother's Day how it was so chaotic, because 2 of her preteens wanted to decide what they wanted to wear. And I was like, man, every year for a special service, it's always chaotic with the girls, because either my little one doesn't want to wear that dress, she's always arguing, I want to wear shorts. And I'm like, you ain't wearing shorts to church. You're going to wear a dress. But she'll argue, and then she'll try to compromise. What if I wear the shorts underneath my dress? I'll wear the dress. Or how about if I take another outfit, and as soon as church is over, I'll change. And so I'm like, are you, serious? And then she has to tell me how she wants her hair done. I don't want to wear it down. I want to wear it up in a ponytail. And I'm like, no, I want your hair down. No. And we'll be arguing for 10 minutes. And I'm like, I'm arguing with like a toddler right now. And so I'm already getting like overwhelmed, because I'm like, let's just go, because now it's cutting into the time, and I'm still not even dressed. And then, then I have my other 3, like, what's taking so long? Why are y'all barely moving? And then I have one that hasn't even brushed their teeth yet. I'm like, what have you been doing this whole time? So then it's like, when I were rushing, and then it's chaos. But this past Mother's Day, it actually wasn't chaotic. Like, everybody got dressed. We were done early. We got to church early. Their hair was done. Phoebe didn't argue with me about wearing a dress or having her hair down. I mean, it was nice. And I told her to say, hey, it was actually not stressful on Sunday morning. And usually after the kids are making it chaos, then me and my husband are getting on each other's nerves. Either I'm getting on his nerves because I'm stressing myself out with them, or he's getting on my nerves because he's not feeling what I'm feeling with the girls, you know? And so I just thought that was crazy because this was the first time it was just not insane. It would have been so smooth. I'm like, see, if we just all work together, right? But is constant, especially like with mothers and with families. When you have more than one child, and even with grandparents, when you have grandkids, because I hear it from my mom, I'm an only child. I do not have any siblings. So when I started having multiple kids, my mom told me, I don't know how to do this. I'm used to one child, just one kid to get ready, and just, that's it, I'm done. But now, if they all stay the night, she has 4 to get ready, and she just cannot handle. She's running late, and I'm like, what's the big deal? I'm doing this every day. And I'm like, what's the problem? I don't understand why you're running late. Oh my gosh, you know I gotta get all the girls ready. She's just already stressing out. And I always think that's funny, and that her concern was, how do I love more than one kid? I'm used to loving one child. How do I love another when I was pregnant with Phoebe? I'm like, Mom, really, this is gonna come natural, you know? It's a compassionate love. It's, you know, it's never ending. It just comes, you know. We haven't met them yet, but and so I kind of just got into it naturally, having, you know, 4 daughters, but I would get so overwhelmed so easily by it. And when I was pregnant with Phoebe, the 3, Zoe, Addie, and Maya, were kind of already grown up. Zoe's the oldest. But I had a very hard pregnancy with Phoebe, like physically. And so I would get very exhausted. I couldn't do a lot of stuff. I was really, really big with her. And she was 9 pounds when she was born. And she was taking literally the life from me physically, because anything I ate or drank, it just came right back out. So I was losing weight and just carrying nothing but baby weight. So physically, I was just I couldn't have any energy. But one time I remember I almost lost control with my kids, because they just were running around, screaming at each other, coming at me, and I was about to lose it. I just felt, I was right there, but what I did was I took off running to my room, and I shut the door and locked it. And they're just kind of like, what just happened? And I didn't yell or nothing. I just ran to the room and I cried. I laid on the bed just crying, like, I don't know what to do anymore, you know, how can I do this? But I removed myself, I stopped, and I prayed. During that time of overwhelming, and to me it was just so much, but before I lost it, I ran away just to my room. They were right there, the room was literally across from mine. I shut the door, locked it, and some were, Mom, and I just stayed crying in my bed, praying to the Lord. And he calmed me down, and I went and talked to them in a normal tone, and I explained to them, this is hard on me. I can't physically do this. I need your help. You're big sisters. And I started, you know, breaking it down for them. Of course, I'm crying because I'm extra hormonal when I was pregnant, so they're all crying. Because they're like, Mommy's crying, and they're all crying to me. So then I'm crying because they're crying, and they're crying, you know. So we're just all crying, and it was just so much female hormones at that same time. But they got quiet and stopped. They stopped to listen instead of going crazy, right? And we have to do that with our crazy lives. We have to stop, just take a moment and just get away. It doesn't matter where it is. I've had to even come to church, I'd be just so, because I just got off of work, and then my girls are waiting for me, and they're already, all 4 want to tell me about their day at the same time. And I would always tell them, I do not like it when you talk to me at the same time. I can't hear anything, I cannot understand. So now they know, one at a time. Do not interrupt when someone else is talking, so that way that person feels they're heard. But I would have to run to his office and put on my worship, because I was just so stressed out. And I wasn't going to get up here to worship the Lord when I'm so stressed out with all these other things. And they're not even bad things. They're just life, daily life. But as mothers, we get overwhelmed. because it can be chaotic all around us. And it can come against your marriage too, and try to split you and your spouse apart. But even getting with fathers that maybe have to be single fathers, they have to be both parents, or single mothers. It could even be 10 times more stress because you don't have that other helpmate to step in at the time, especially if you're not living, if you're living by yourself. But with my mom, because I like how Eva shared about her mom, but with my mom, she raised me to be independent on my own. So with my cousin, we were the same age. You could tell the difference between us, that I was more mature on this level. She was still way down here acting like her age. But I didn't act like mine. I acted way older. My mom kept me responsible. If I got involved in something and I didn't want to do it, she said, no, you're finishing it. You started it, you're finishing it. She made me try everything, all kinds of sports. I didn't have a choice. She's like, no, how can you tell me you don't like it until you try it? So I teach my girls the same way. I don't push them. And it's like, if you don't beg me, I won't put you in it. But I give them the opportunity. You can try it out. Because how do you know if you don't like it or not? And that's how my mom raised me. Philippians 4:6. If I can go ahead and go there. I just want to share verse 6 and 7. And it says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And in verse 7, it says, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ. The one thing that I need to change on with my confession is, I always say, ever since I had my kids, my anxiety level has just spiked through the roof. I'm like terrified of a lot of things right now, and I shouldn't be. When I didn't have kids, I did it all. I didn't care. But I think because I had children, I had other little lives behind. So I was more scared, like I'm terrified to fly. But I never was terrified back then, because I went to Hawaii, I went to Cancun before, been to California, been to Vegas. And even Richie's like, how did you fly to Hawaii? And now you're terrified to even go 2 hours on a plane. How did you do 8 hours over the ocean? I was like, you know what, because I didn't have a family. Like, I didn't have a husband, I didn't have kids. It was just me. So if something were to happen, it was just me. I didn't have nobody to worry about. But now I have children, I have a husband. So it's like, if something were to happen to me, then who's going to take care of them? Then now I'm thinking of the future. Now I'm just going all over, above and beyond. So then I get all scared. And so I have to confess, and God's working on me, is to do not be anxious and give every situation to the Lord. It's easier said than done, because sometimes we don't want to let go of that situation. And I stop and think, like, why? Because we're overworking and overstressing ourselves, holding on to that situation, when all we got to do is give it unto God. And I've learned that over the past years, and even now with anything going on with, my kids or at work or with our finances, whatever the situation is, I'm at peace with it. I'm always at peace with it. And I think I had to go through that to learn. And if my husband is not at peace, but I am. So I am there to lift him up and encourage him that it's okay. It's going to be okay. God has our backs. Because if we were both down, everything would just fall apart, because we can't build each other up. There's nobody there. So I had to constantly keep on, do not be anxious in every situation, and by prayer. By prayer. Prayer is important, church. Prayer is important. We have these intercessory prayer times, and I love it because my kids aren't in here, for one, bothering me, distracting me. You're by yourself. If you have to get away, even if it's physically getting in the car to come to church, just so you can have that quiet time to pray, then do it. Because if everything is going wrong in your life, God just wants you to talk to him about it. Don't talk to your friend about it. You talk to him about it, because what's your friend going to do in that situation? Besides sometimes give you the wrong advice or tell you what you shouldn't do. You go to God about it. And so I encourage you with prayer, when we have prayer nights, to come and intercede. And the second time we had prayer, it was awesome, because I did have something I needed to pray about, was for my kids because of the testing at school. And what I've learned too about being stressing out and all that, it went to my daughter, went to Zoe. And she was stressing herself out so bad that it physically was making her sick. And she kept like saying, "Oh, Mom, I'm sick, my stomach hurts, I feel like I'm gonna throw up, and my head hurts, or my leg is hurting, I can't walk on my foot." And it was always these symptoms. And I took her to the doctor. The doctor's like, "There's nothing wrong with her. She's fine." I'm like, "I don't get it. Then why is she saying all of this and she's fine? That doesn't make no sense." But I finally just looked up stress. And it listed all the symptoms that she told me that she was feeling. So I sat her down one day and I showed her, just so she's not like, "Okay, Mom's just saying this." No, I showed her. I looked it up and look at everything you told me. Does this look familiar? And she was like, "Well, yeah." And it shows physical, mental, psychological, everything, symptoms of what stress can do. And I said, "You don't sleep, you're having trouble breathing," because she kept saying, "I'm having trouble breathing," but they would check her lungs and it's 100%. So they don't understand why she's struggling to breathe. Because she was stressing herself out so bad at school, trying to pass classes, and she was keeping all of that inside, and that she was losing sleep, and then it physically started harming her. And so once I showed her those symptoms, that I said, "Look, you gotta give all of that and let it go. And God will pour his peace on you. But you gotta trust in the Lord with that." And once I showed her that, she's never had a problem again with stress. Never had any physical symptoms or calling me about something weird. I told her, and I even talked to a counselor at the school, and they said that they would talk to her, a couple of sessions that she wanted. I said, "I really think that's a good idea, because talking about school, I don't have time to listen, and I don't understand, because the stuff that they learn right now, I have no clue. It's just like this. She's teaching me if she wants me to help her." But I said, and I told her, I said, "I think you need to talk to someone at school just to get it off your chest, because you're bottling it up. By the time we get home, I don't have time to sit and listen. We're just kind of like, 'Come on, you need to get to bed. We got to get up early,' because they're on a routine, a structure that they have to get up at 5 in the morning every day, and we travel up north to drop them off so they can go to school. And then they get out in the afternoon, sleep on the car on the way back, and we make sure to get them in bed by 8:30 at the latest. And that's like a Monday through Thursday type deal. And so they're used to doing their bodies like that, but I don't have time to communicate with my daughter to open up. So I said, "Well, how about you talk to somebody at school, get it off your chest, don't bottle it in." And so she was like, "Yeah, okay." And she did that, and that helped. But once I saw her, my mama said, "She's just like you. She's just like you." And I'm like, I don't want her to be like I was, though, because I stressed myself out. I was a procrastinator, and she's kind of like that. But so we bump heads because we're so alike. But I try to teach her, but then I was like, I can't be telling her to have the peace of the Lord, and I don't have the peace of the Lord. So it's a work in progress, but we gotta be careful, because it goes into our kids. If they're seeing that's how you're getting so overwhelmed, and you're letting that come in and seep in, then they get overwhelmed. It's just a domino effect. And then it can come between that they're afraid to talk to you, because what if it's gonna set you off and you're gonna snap and lose it? Seek God for the peace you need, and he will give it to you. In Jeremiah 29:13, you don't have to go there. "But you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." It has to be with all of your heart, not just a little bit. Also, move to a quiet place, your secret hiding place, and he will meet you there. Honestly, at work and even at home, the bathroom is my hiding place. That's my only time to really get away. Even at work, I told him it was getting so stressful today. Like from 3 to 5, I was running around. I was typing super duper fast on my computer on emails. And I was getting like, "Oh, I don't have time. He's about to come get me. I haven't even looked over my lesson." I'm like, "Hello, the lesson is to stop." So I went to the bathroom at my job, and I just sat there, and I told him, I said, I have to pray to the Lord. I trust in you. You're going to take care of everything. Let me not be so rushed. I felt so rushed and overwhelmed, and it just wasn't a good feeling. So I had to stop, and I had to get away, because I'm in an open area at my desk that people travel in and out. So if I'm just like this, a lot of the guys are just stopping waiting, like, are you done? Hey, I need something. They're need. So I had to like get away for a minute and just get all those distractions away. And after that, it was like, okay, I can breathe now. But you have to do that. And he will meet you right there no matter where it is. That is your time between you and the Lord. Sometimes we need to be in the silence. Does he speak to you right away? No, he doesn't. That's where the waiting comes in. And so we're not patient in this world. I'll admit I'm not patient. I'm working on that. But when you're seeking him with your whole heart, it requires patience. Because he's not going to immediately come at your beck and call or come and tell you what you want to hear. He'll tell you at the time that he knows that you're ready to listen and receive. Right? I could tell when I get the spirit of discernment, especially like if it's a meeting or I'm talking to somebody and they're sharing, I don't say an advice right away, because if I can sense how they're coming off or they're just extremely upset, they're not really going to listen and take in what I have to say, so I wait. And then when they're actually calm and maybe even another day, and when I share that one thing, they actually receive and understand. So we have to listen first before we speak. So far, what the Lord has spoken to me has been confirmed throughout. She's already said things like twice at 2 different times, and I tell her, that's what the Lord told me. I wrote that down in my notebook, and you just said it just out of nowhere. I mean, I just thought, to me, it's so good to have that confirmation, because I feel like I'm on the right track. And it's not just mothers, it's fathers, and at times grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever steps in to help. Like, I'm thankful for my in-laws, Rachel and David, and my parents for stepping in, and they help us a lot. Because we're busy, she'll step in and say, hey, keep the girls here. At home, I'll watch them. My mom will say, hey, the girls can stay the night. You know, don't worry about it. So it's like, oh, yes, kid free. It's like I tell people, the guys at work, I don't have no kids tonight. You get to just go home and lay down and relax. We don't even want to go nowhere. I just want to lay down and relax. Because Phoebe still kind of tries to come in the bed too. I'm like, nope, we stopped right there. You turned 5. Aww. But I like what Pastor Ella said, because she had said that every family is a unit, and every family family member has a part in that unit. And the Lord actually showed that to me when Raimundo was speaking the first Wednesday. I was saying, man, everybody has a part. And then she said that. And when one time I was getting, there's actually been plenty of times, I was getting like just overly stressed with the girls. And when Richie notices that the girls are not listening to me, he steps in. And he'll even step in and just like, you know what, you just get ready, do what you need to do, and he'll keep the girls away from me. What do y'all need? Because they just always want to go to mom, 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 mom. And he'll step in like, what? I'm here. Tell me. Your mom's doing this right now. He steps in to help me to where I'm not reaching that. Because he'll see that I'm getting there. I'm getting aggravated, so he'll come right on in and cut that right there. And then it helps me to be quiet in my time. I'm not rushing. He can already sense that. And that's already helped us as a married couple, because he's backing me up. That's what I need. I need that backup. And because everybody, I like it because everybody has a part. And I will do the same for him. A lot of they don't go to him because, you know, they're daughters, so they tend to go to the mamas. I always went to my mom. I never went to my dad. But so he always has to come in. Like, I'm here, daddy's here. And I'm like, okay, well, mom. You know? And sometimes I'm like, can you go to your father? Gosh, there's another parent in the house. And I would literally step in the house if I went to go get my nails done one time. It was great. I drove myself. I was like, oh yes. And I walked in the door, and it's like they acted like they haven't seen me in a week. They were running, oh, mom. And I literally barely stepped in the door. My nails are just done, my toes are just, I'm like, don't touch me. They're already just all over me. And I'm like, okay, can I walk in? Can I shut the door? Can I go to my room? And so then I'm already like, oh gosh. I just have just peace. Let me get a little bit more peace. Because they're just like, they just bombard me so much. But you know what? Even Adriana said this on Mother's Day, and how her boys are already grown. And they don't talk to her that much anymore. And so I take advantage of all that extra love I get. Because they are going to grow, which I have my oldest getting there. She thinks she's getting there, but she don't talk to me that much anymore because she's cool. But she still acts like, well, I'm the number one. I'm the number one baby here. So she still will represent that. But I stop. And that's another thing. I will stop what I'm doing and give them my full attention. I will look at them in the eyes when they're telling me a story. I might not understand what they're saying or even know what's going on in their story, but I will stop and listen to show I'm paying attention, because that's what they want. They want your undivided attention, right? And we went out to eat one time, and then Maya talked our ear off. Like, she hasn't talked to us in days, and I told him, I said, but you know what? We're so busy that with the other sisters there, because it was by herself, they over-talk over her. So she don't get a chance to share. So she finally opened up for the past month. Here's what's been going on in my life, and she's just talking to us. So I said, let her have it. She told me everything at school for the past few weeks, but it was nice. I said they need that time to open up to you. That's all they want to do is just tell you. And you know, that's what the Lord wants. He may see everything, and of course he knows all things, but he wants to hear from you. How are you feeling? He's never too busy to not listen to anybody. Never too busy. He will stop what he's doing. But if we're to be Christ-like, let's stop what we're doing and pay attention to our kids. And I like how I said to you, like, don't be afraid of your kids. Don't be afraid of your kids. I'm not afraid of mine, and they know that. But also don't ignore them. Continue. Remember they're there. But you have to give that time and moment and pay attention. Because a lot of times, and Zoe actually went through this in 5th grade, and this is, like, I was crying at work one time when I called him, when the principal called me. I think the principal or the counselor. And Zoe got called into the office because it was said around the school with her and a group of friends that they were talking about committing suicide. And I was like, my daughter? And they said, no, her name was brought up. She wasn't saying it, but 2 other friends were talking about committing suicide. And they had this group going on. This was in 5th grade. And I panicked. And I'm crying to him. He's like, don't cry. You know, our daughter's not like that. We have raised her better, you know, guys in our lives. Said, don't worry. I said, but she's surrounded with that. In 5th grade, she has friends that are talking about committing suicide. And then they had one that was cutting herself. And she thought it was cool. I was like, I don't want my daughter to be thinking that's a good thing to do. I mean, because they say all kinds of stuff. I've been in school, but they didn't do any of that when I was in school. And so the counselor was offering up to talk to her. And they asked her, have you ever thought about committing suicide? And she's like, I thought about it once, but I know the consequences. I won't go to heaven if I do. So I don't want to do that. And the counselor's like, oh, okay. So they let me know it's just if you want to talk to her. So I did. And she was like, oh, Mom, it was like a quick mini thought, and I pushed it away. Because I was like, no, I can't do that. And so at that time, I was like, I need to really pay attention, especially when they're getting older and get influenced. You need to talk to your kids, talk to your preteens. You can't do it all, do a miracle, only God can, but you can do your best to show them that you're available, that you're there. I always tell her, talk to me whenever you need me. If anything is going on, I don't ever want you to be afraid to do that. I don't even allow her, if she's mad at me, to go and slam her door. She did that one time, and she's never done it again, because I busted through there. I said, you could be mad at me all you want, but you will not shut this door and shut me out. You will open up and tell me how you feel. I want to hear it. So now, they know I don't know is not an answer. They need to give me a reason. If they're sad, lonely, I want to know. You tell me. Let's get through this together. You have to kind of give that little push. I'm not constantly hovering, but they know that I'm there when needed. when things start to fall apart, for instance, like your kids, because with parents, it's your kids. They're the next generation. The enemy is already running rapid with their children, especially with the little girl that got kidnapped and got found within a few hours. That really touched me that night when I saw that. And we prayed for her before we went to bed. And I got up early that morning because I get up at 5 and I was just getting on my phone and I followed the Fort Worth police. Then I saw the conference that they found her, and I was like, he even was like, hey, they found her. I was like, I know, I saw that. That's the power of prayer. Once again, prayer. And even when Pastor Joe prayed, when the whole storm, the big storm was coming, remember that? Huge hailstorm was coming and everybody's panicking, and even at work, they were like, you need to go home early. I said, for what? The storm's coming. I'm like, not right now, it's only 4. I said, I already prayed to the Lord. That don't mean it's gonna come. I gotta go to church tonight. And they're like, you're gonna go to church? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to church. I said, if something's gonna happen, I'd rather be in the house of God with everybody else. At least I'd be praising and worshiping the Lord, right? Instead of being at home all scared. And sure enough, when he prayed, because I was already, praying, and then like nothing happened, right? Okay, well, I follow one of the meteorologists on Channel 8 on Facebook, and he even said, what happened? He was like, something, he said, whoever it is, or whatever it is, had their hand on DFW, Dallas Fort Worth, because he showed all these storms that went around. And I looked at all the comments, and everybody said the power of prayer. That's the power of Jesus. That is the Jesus Christ. I pray in their best. That's amazing. And they all said it on the comments. And I was like, look at that. I said, we have a professional. He was like, what happened? Whoever it was, and he said, thank you, whoever it was that protected the Metroplex. And everyone was like, that was the Lord. Everybody was like, praying. And I just thought that was so amazing how it seeps in like that, And so, once again, with prayer, it changes things. Changes things. And you put your trust in prayer, but also with your children. Because I know that there are some parents struggling with their kids that they're just lost, or they were here and then they went back out again. You just doing all you can because you're like, oh, how do I get them here? What do I, You gotta let go and let God handle it, because sometimes we can get in the way of Him doing the work. Sometimes we think, He needs help. Let me go in and do this. God don't need your help. He needs your love and your trust. He wants your support, that you know and believe and trust that He is going to handle it. You don't need to have your hand on the situation. He has it done already. But when you keep stepping in, it hinders that miracle coming. He's trying to do something and you're getting in the way right now. So if it's something going on, whatever, and that's pertaining to any situation, not just our children, let it go. Don't be worshiping like this because you're, but I'm going to hold on to it a little bit. No, surrender is complete surrender with your hands open. Nobody surrenders like this. They surrender like this. Completely open, completely surrender, right? So let it go. I know we say it all the time, let go and let God, let go and let God. No, seriously. It's that easy, but we make it complicated. And sometimes we make our lives chaotic. We bring that chaos in. And we don't have to. If it's going so much, and you can tell in your own families, when it's just so much going on, we're just overwhelmed, you need to stop. Make some sacrifices. What is working and what is not? What do you need to not do anymore? Even if and that can go into being involved in ministry and everything. Like you're working everywhere. But when it starts becoming an overwhelming stress, a burden, you need to take a step back. Well, where can I go to really they really need help? I'll just focus on that. I don't need to do all of this. I can just do that. Because I'll say I'm involved in a lot of stuff. I wear many, many hats. I mean, y'all see me do announcements. You'll see me praying. You'll see me back there with the kids. But I've been doing it for years. I bring my kids in it, and I teach them that it's not just, y'all just stay home because mom and dad are going to church, and that they're already feeling the church is first. No, I bring my kids with me. They've all been on the stage since in the womb, to the car seat, to toddlers, and they've been to every single praise practice that I've been in. So they grew up loving praise and worship. They grew up loving to be up here in the midst. They understand the power of the Holy Spirit. They understand when the anointing flows. They understand when mom's crying, it's not just because she's sad. No, Jesus is touching her. They understand, oh, Jesus touched me. They'll tell me when they're just down here. But when I come behind the scenes to do stuff, I involve them. And then now they're learning. They're like, I want to go and help. I want to go and help. How else do we get other volunteers? It's our children. And they all have individual callings. And the Lord will show you what is their calling. Like with Maya right now, she loves to draw. And what she confesses is, when I have my studio, do you think people will buy my pictures? And I told her, I said, you know what? She don't say like, if I have a studio. She's like, when I have my studio, do you think people will buy my pictures? And I'm like, look at that. Already confessing. And she will learn how to do shadowing. She watches videos. I mean, she was laid on the ground with her sketchbook. And I'm like, you know what? I will buy whatever you need to go to that gift. Bought her a big old set of pencils, you know, shadowing pencils, colored pencils, markers. I would teach her, keep up with it, put them up. Do not leave them on the floor. Don't let them get destroyed. They last longer. And she learns. Put them, I have a whole dresser, nothing but art stuff. Addison, she loves to dance. But you know what? She don't love to do the hip-hop dances that the youth do. She loves the lyrical worship dance. And I thought that was very interesting. I did all kinds of dances. I love all kinds of, but she specifically likes the worship, slow one. So now I'm teaching her, you can minister to other people just through your dancing. You don't have to say anything, but it could touch someone's heart because God is using you if you are just being used by the Lord. And I'm teaching her that. And Phoebe's my sports person. She can't wait to play basketball. She already knows how to dribble better than me. Already can put it under her leg, and she can go like this. And I'm like, man, I can't even do that. She'll tell me, no, don't look at the ball, Mom. Look at me. And I'm like, and it's already going. She's like this. And she's already just like, you know, but she loves sports. She wants to play, you know, softball, basketball. She's just ready for it. She's so active, and she just, I don't want to do dance. I want to do this. But you know what? She is open to try it out because she's in ballet right now. And with her niece, her cousin, my niece, she'll do it. But that's not where her calling is, I can tell. She's doing it because, okay, you're taking me to dance. But I can see it in her heart. She's doing it to make me happy. And trying it out. She's gonna finish. She's almost done, but she's ready to like, okay, I'm gonna move on to something else, you know? And of course, with my last one with Zoe, I think she's just getting to that teenage that she don't even know what she wants yet. But you know what? She loves the hip hop dancing though. Once she did it that one time with the outreach, and she did it up here because Pastor Joe asked for the kids to do it here. I told my husband, I said, man, I saw something different in her. She had such a smile that was so happy. And I was like, I've never seen that before from her. You know, just like, you know, kind of face down. No, this was like a passion that was coming out. And I thought, man, and she's like, she loved it. Doing all of that stuff with the kids, with the youth, she just can't wait. She's like, I'm ready, I can't wait. Can I do this, you know, again? I'm like, absolutely. Why would I hinder the gifts that I'm already seeing being brought out in my kids? Because us as parents can encourage to stir up that gift, because they all have a gift. All of them have something inside. And when you recognize what that is, feed into it, encourage them in it, start praying over them with that gift. Because I've touched all of that, I've done all of that my kids do, and it's so interesting that individually they're doing several ones that I did all together. And now it's just being brought out separate. That is their one thing that they love to do. And I teach them, you can minister to people. Let the Lord use you. Let them give you creativeness. That's where the creativeness starts stirring up. And you're like, oh, I understand. Okay, I get it. But it's teaching them. Seeing the supernatural. See your kids serving in ministry. The Lord will reveal to you what their calling is. And even when they're young, it will start developing. And so like being involved with multiple things, even with work, don't get lost being so involved in your work life. Because you can start noticing too, then the family gets cut out. The kids get cut out. Recognize that. It doesn't pertain just to ministry, it's also with your work life. Don't let your kids get lost in the routine. Because sometimes they can. They get in the habit. Sometimes my girls get in the habit. But I still take the time to like, you know what, let's stop and sit at the table together and let's eat. And you're already cutting into bedtime, but let's stop and eat. And then we'll tell them, you can conversate, tell the stories, but don't give us like a 20-minute recap of your entire week, because sometimes they love to do that, and we'll be there till 10 at the table. Which is like, okay, next person talk. So they know now to conversate instead of like, let me pour out everything right now. That's not the time. But they're learning. Stop and listen. You know God wants you to do that for him as well. To just stop and listen. Stop and take a moment and acknowledge God, because he can't wait to pour out his blessings. He just can't wait to love on you. He can't wait to speak to you too. But he's waiting for you to stop so he can have your undivided attention. So like at the time I had in prayer, I couldn't really hear him because I was distracted with other things going on. So when I finally stopped, he had my undivided attention, but he didn't speak to me right away. It was like 5 minutes went by. Because are you really paying attention? Because he's checking your heart as well, because your heart can still go somewhere else. Your mind can go somewhere else. But I stayed focused on him alone. Then he started speaking to me. And he started giving me this word. So just stop. In the midst of everything going on, just stop and be still. Because that's what he did when on the boat. We all know the story on the boat. He was calm. Everybody was panicked, but he came out calm, and he just said, peace, be still, and everything stopped. We have that same power, church. He gave us that. Gave us the keys. When he died on the cross and he went to hell, they're here. Y'all have it. Don't forget. And we forget sometimes. We have that power. Use that authority that he's given you. Use that authority for your family, for your kids, even for your spouse, for each other. Because we're all, even in the church family, we're here together as children of God. There is no one that's above another in ranks or whatever. We're all the same in God's eyes, just daughters and sons. You remember the power that you have, and use that power, especially in confessing, and use that authority that you have against the enemy, because he doesn't win. We win anyway, right? God bless you all. Thank you.